Hello everyone. Today we will learn about factoring polynomials. Factoring a polynomial expressed as the sum of monomials means finding an equivalent expression that is a product. For example, let's say we want to factor the polynomial 10x squared plus 25x. We can write that equals to 5x times 2x plus 5. So here in the left hand side, 10x squared plus 25x is the sum of monomials, and at the right hand side is the equivalent expression that is a product of 5x and 2x plus 5. And this 5x and 2x plus 5 are the factors of 10x squared plus 25x. So the first step to factor a polynomial is to look for the greatest common factor known as the GCF. Now you need to think of the reverse direction of the distributive property, which says that A times B plus A times C equals to A times B plus C. So for example, if we want to factor the polynomial 16x cubed plus 24x squared, then at the first we see that the GCF of the two terms of the polynomial is 8x squared. So we write 16x cubed as 8x squared times 2x, and then plus 24x squared as 8x squared times 3. And now since 8x squared is the common factors of these two terms, so we can factor this out, and you can write this as 8x squared times 2x plus 3. Now this 8x squared and 2x plus 3 are the factors of the polynomial 16x cubed plus 24x squared. Factoring by grouping. So sometimes we need to group the polynomial to factor. So for example, let's say we want to factor this polynomial x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5x plus 20. So we see that there is no GCF of this polynomial, but if you group this polynomial into two groups, and if you see that the common factors of the first two term is x squared and the common factors of the second two term is 5, so you can group them in these two groups, where the first group is the first two terms and the second group is the last two terms by their common factors. So we write this in these two groups, x cubed plus 4x squared and then plus 5x plus 20, and then we factor out the common factor x squared from the first group, and then we can write that x squared times x plus 4, and we factor out the common factor 5 from the second group, and we can write that 5 times x plus 4, and then we see that x plus 4 is the common factor of this. So we can factor this out, x plus 4, and then we're left with x plus 4 times x squared plus 5. So these are the factors of the polynomial. Factoring trinomials. A trinomial is actually a standard form of a quadratic polynomial, so which is ax squared plus bx plus c. So trinomial means that it has three terms. So a general strategy of factoring a trinomial is, the first step is to find the two first terms whose product is ax squared, which is the first term of the polynomial. So we want to express this polynomial into equivalent expression of product. And we want this first two term, product of this first two term is x squared. That means the coefficient of this and this is equals to A. And our second step, to find two last terms whose product is C. So that means we need to find this box and this box, and the product of this and this should be equals to C. And the third step is to perform steps 1 and 2 until the sum of the outside product and inside product is Bx, which is the middle term of the trinomial. So we want the inside product and the outside product, and the sum of this inside and the outside product is equals to the middle term Bx. Alright, so let's do an example. So let's factor the polynomial x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now we notice that the leading coefficient is 1. And by the way, the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the x squared term. So our first step, we'll find two first terms whose product is x squared. So we want to express this as a product of two terms, and the product of first two terms is x squared, so should be x and x. And the second step, we need to find two last terms whose product is 6. So now we want to find the factors of 6, and then we will sum the factors and see which of this sum is equals to the middle term. So first try. So this is like a trial and error methods. That means you need to try the factors of 6 and add them up, and need to look at if that is equals to the middle term. If not, then try another one and do it until you find the desired middle term. So let's try this one, 6 and 1, which are the factors of 6. So this sum is 7, so which is not the coefficient of the middle term, so the coefficient of middle term is 5. So we want this sum of the factors to be 5. So let's look at this one. So let's say the factors of 6 are 3 and 2, and the summation of these are, this is 7, this is 5, sorry. So which is the desired sum? So we can write our polynomial x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals to x plus 3 times x plus 2. Alright, so let's do one more example. So let's factor this polynomial x squared plus 3x minus 18. So again, our first step is to find two first terms whose product is x squared, so which is x and x. And then our second step is to find two last terms whose product is negative 18. So we'll again look at the factors of negative 18 and we'll add them up. So let's first try is 18 and negative 1. So the sum of these two factors is 17, and which is obviously not the coefficient of the middle term. So we'll try one more. So let's look at these factors, negative 9 and 2. So the sum of these two factors is negative 7, and again which is not the desired sum. Let's then look at another one, which is 6, negative 3, and this sum of these two factors is 3, and this is the desired sum. This is the middle term. So therefore we can write this polynomial x squared plus 3x minus 18 equals to x plus 6 times x minus 3. Alright, so in this example, so we want to factor 6x squared plus x minus 2. So notice that the leading coefficient is not 1 in this polynomial. So we will do a little bit different strategy for this problem. So first step is so we'll multiply the leading coefficient with the constant term. So in this case, leading coefficient is 6 and the constant term is negative 2, and the product is negative 12. and then we need to find the factors of this negative 12 and find the sum of those factors, and we'll look for these factors that add up to 1, which is the coefficient of the middle term. So first try is 6 negative 2, but the sum is 4, so which is not what we are looking for. So let's try one more, which is 4 negative 3, and they add up to 1, and this is the desired middle term. So now our second step is to write or split the middle term like this. So we'll write x as 4x minus 3x. So we'll write this polynomial 6x squared plus x minus 2 equals to 6x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 2. So this is also known as the splitting the middle term method. And then we will factor out the common factor of the first two term, which is 2x. So we get 2x times 3x plus 2 from the first two term, and we'll factor out negative 1 from the last two term. So we have negative 1 times 3x plus 2, and again we see that 3x plus 2 is a common factor, so we factor that out, and we have 3x plus 2 times 2x minus 1. So the factors of the polynomial 6x squared plus x minus 2 is 3x plus 2 and 2x minus 1. Alright, so now let's look at the factoring the difference of two squares. So the difference of two squares, like a square minus b square, is equals to a plus b times a minus b. So we'll use this as a formula, and then we can factor our difference of two squares likely using this formula: a square minus b square equals to a plus b times a minus b. So let's do an example. So let's say we want to factor x square minus 9. So first we'll write x square minus 9 as x square minus 3 square. So now x square minus 3 square is the difference of two squares, where x can be equals to a, and you can think of 3 as a b, and then we can write x square minus 3 square as x plus 3 times x minus 3. So let's do one more example. So let's factor 36x squared minus 81. So first we'll write 36x squared as 6x whole square and 81 as 9 square. So we can write 36x squared minus 81 equals to 6x squared minus 9 square. So this is again the difference of two squares, so we can write this is equals to 6x plus 9 times 6x minus 9. Alright, so sometimes we would have repeated factorization, so like this example. So let's factor 16x to the 4 minus 81 completely. So we can write 16x to the 4 as 4x squared whole square and 81 as 9 square. So we have 16x to the 4 minus 81 equals to 4x squared whole square minus 9 square, which is the difference of two squares, a square minus b square, so where a can be 4x squared and b can be 9. So we'll have 4x squared plus 9 times 4x squared minus 9. Now notice that 4x squared minus 9 can be written as 2x whole square minus 3 square, which is again the difference of two squares. So we can write that as 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. So the factors of 16x to the 4 minus 81 are 4x squared plus 9 and 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. Factoring perfect square trinomials. So the perfect square is a plus b whole square, which is a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this is like doing the reverse of a square plus 2ab plus b square. So we know that a plus b whole square equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now we'll do the reverse of that. And Also a square minus 2ab plus b square is equals to a minus b whole square. So let's do example. So let's factor x square plus 10x plus 25. So we can write this is equals to x square plus 2 times x times 5 plus 5 square. So we'll write the middle term 10x as 2 times x times 5 and the constant term 25 as 5 square. And then we see that this is exactly equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square, where a is x and b is 5. So we can write this as x plus 5 whole square. And for this example, so we want to factor 16x squared minus 56x plus 49. And again, we'll write 16x squared as 4x whole square minus 56x as 2 times 4x times 7 and 49 as 7 squared. And then we'll see that this is exactly like a square minus 2ab plus b square, where a is 4x and b is 7. So we can write this is 4x minus 7 whole square. Factoring the sum or difference of two cubes. So this the sum of two cubes, a cube plus b cube, the factors are a plus b times a square minus ab plus b square. And the difference of two cubes, a cube minus b cube, equals to a minus b times a square plus ab plus b square. So again, we'll use this as a formula, and these are so let's do an example. So in this example, we'll factor x cubed plus 27. So we can write this as x cubed plus 3 cubed, which is now we can see that this is actually the sum of two cubes. So x, we can assume our x as a and b 3 as b. So this is like a cube plus b cube. So we can write this as x plus 3 times x square minus x times 3 plus 3 square. So just like a plus b times a square minus ab plus b square. So where a is x and b is 3. Alright. And if we simplify, then we'll have this is equals to x plus 3 times x squared minus 3x plus 9. And these are the factors of x cubed plus 27. So for this example, we want to factor 8x cubed minus 125. So now we can write 8x cubed as 2x whole cube and 125 as negative 5 cubed. So, and again, this is the difference of two cubes. So we can say this is like a cube minus b cube, where a is 2x and b is 5. So we can write this is as a minus b, so 2x minus 5 times a square, which is 2x whole square, plus ab, so which is 2x times 5, and then plus b square, so which is 5 square. And we can simplify this, and we can write this as 2x minus 5 times 4x squared plus 10x plus 25. And these are the factors of 8x cubed minus 125. Thank you very much.